Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is doing tonight. As you come in, type in a hello so I know who's here. Guys, I'm like super excited for this tonight. There's going to be some really cool stuff that you're going to learn. Hello, hello. Would you jump on? Come on over into the chat box and tell me who's here and where you're from. We'll give some time for people to jump on. Hi, Sarah. So glad you can make it. We also have Kay here. Kay is he is my mentor, if you want to call him that. And he is helping me with growing and learning and bouncing ideas off of him. And he's a great guy. So if you guys ever get a chance to meet Kay, you'll probably see posts and stuff on there on my page, or you'll see me comment on something. He's a really good guy. He knows what he's talking about. I'm telling you, he knows what he's talking about. Hi, Pamela. I'm glad you're here. I know you've had a kind of a hard week, but I'm really glad that you're taking time out of your schedule. Guys, as you come in, introduce yourself in the window. I want to know who's here. Who's with me? Tell me where you're from. You have any idea of where you guys are located? Just a busy one. Oh, thanks, Kay. I rock. That's always nice to know. It's always nice to hear, especially from, a mentor. Makes you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside, I'm going to give just a few minutes. Hi, Karen. Okay, from Alberta, Canada. Welcome, welcome. I see Pamela, you're in San Diego. Okay. And Sarah, you're from Florida. Nice. Nice. Yeah, Kay is from Canada as well. He's a cool guy. You guys need to hook up too. He's got some really good stuff. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes here. I want to explain, I know a lot of you are questioning, like, why was there a 2 opt-in situation? I had originally set up the Thursday night training opt-in to get an accumulative group. So I knew like who was here and who wasn't. And then from that point, I created the webinar afterwards. So, and then the webinar had another opt-in, and I was like, oh my gosh. So that's why there's 2. It's the first one I've done using the system. So it's a learning process. Everybody knows it's a learning process. So. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put up a poll for you guys. And I want you to answer this so I kind of get an idea of how long you've been in the industry. So take a minute and fill out the poll that's there on the side. So I kind of get an idea of the length of time in the industry so far. Can everybody see the poll, or is it just me? Oh, there's one. I got one vote in. It should pop up if you look on the side. It's probably over here for you. It'll pop up and it'll say there's a poll that's available. Just click on the little, I think it's 3 little things that stick up. Look on there and see. 6 to 12 months seems to be the winner. On the left-hand side. See, to me, it's on this side, on my right side. So, all right. Okay. So we've got 6 to 12 months. What are you? Okay. The 3+ years. Wow. 3+ years. Definitely decided to make this a career, huh? That's good. So what you're going to learn today is going to make you want to stick in it longer, and it's also going to make you want to keep building and keep that momentum in the time length that you've got going on right now. So, all right. Well, guys, it is 5 after. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so, because everybody's time is valuable, and I don't want to waste any. And if you hear things going on around in the background, that's my husband and my children. But I've blocked them off so they can't see you, and I can't see them, and I can stay focused. You know, when you've got a room with other people, sometimes it's hard to stay focused. So, but if you hear noises, just to let you know, everything's okay. They're just back there doing their thing. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I've set up a presentation for you. Let's see here. All right. All right, guys. Well, welcome tonight for the very first Thursday night training. I hope you guys are really excited. I am like totally stoked because this is just 1 week in a set of several weeks that I've planned on doing the webinars to teach you how to get yourself set up online. I know a lot of people start building businesses and were recruited into a business in an offline manner. And so that is completely separate and different from actually being brought in online. And there's differences here. I will tell you a little bit later on. We'll go over this and the differences between the two. But this is going to be a process. So tonight we're going to start off with just some very basic information. There have been questions. I've been in different groups and talking to different people over the course of the last week. And there have been just some basic general questions and some frustrations that I hope we can pan out and get those things taken care of tonight. Now, I will tell you that any marketing in any aspect for any business or any niche, it has so many different ways that you can market it, and there's so many tools and techniques and trials and all of that. Okay, so it's going to take time to kind of learn everything that you need to know in order to get your business bumping at a 6 to 7 figure income. It takes time and it takes patience, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. We'll get into a little bit more. So what I want to share with you right now is that I'm trying to give you enough training to make your business explode. What I mean is explode online. So if you've already got a significant offline business built up, now you're going to double it. So just stay with me and we will get through this. All right. So to kind of give you an idea about where we're going tonight and what we're going to be covering and that kind of thing, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about me and my story and where I started and where I am now. And then we're going to talk about the differences between offline and online marketing. Yes, there are differences. A lot of them are very different because the processes are different. The most common mistakes that are made when starting online and how to avoid them. You're probably thinking to yourself, oh, I don't make mistakes. I never make mistakes. But in reality, you are making mistakes if you're doing a couple of these things. So we'll go over that. How to define your target market so your marketing efforts will generate more sales and signups. And we'll specifically talk about the target market and how you define that. So also to understand attraction marketing and how to use it. And I know just from talking to people in the different groups this week, I know that there's a lot of people who have heard about attraction marketing, but they just heard the term. They don't know what it means. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how it'll affect their business. We're going to kind of go over that tonight so you get an idea. And then we'll do some questions and answers for you guys. Okay, so let's get started. I'll tell you a little bit about me and my story. I live in Hermitage, Tennessee, and for those of you who know Nashville, Tennessee is a country music city. We live just east of Nashville, Tennessee in Hermitage, where it is the home of the former President Andrew Jackson. Actually, it's not that far. It's like 5-10 minutes down the street here from me. And they have, it's an old plantation style area, and they have tours and places where you can go picnic and things of that sort. So it's a really nice area. We do have a family of 6. I have 2 older stepsons, one that's 17 and one that's 18, and 2 sons, one that's 5 and 3. So we are spread out from one end of the spectrum to the other when it comes to the ages of our children. My specific journey began in April of 2014. In January of 2014, it really weighed on my heart that I needed to do something different. And I had seen a former college teammate posting some things on Facebook, and I was curious, and I started talking to her, and I said, well, let's set up a coffee date. And so we went for coffee and sat there and talked, and she told me what she was doing, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But I can't afford to sign up. So time went by. 3 months later, I get a really big weight on my heart. And I just know that primary company was the one that I was supposed to be with. And there wasn't really any other one for me. And so I prayed. And I had an investor, someone who believes in me, that gave me the money to get started. Of course, I was, bowled over, but me, my husband, and my investor all prayed about it, and all 3 of us got the same answer, and that was that this is what I need to do. So I began. I did everything that my upline told me what I needed to do. I was posting on Facebook 2 or 3 times a day. I was annoying my friends. I lost a lot of friends, actually, from posting. It was definitely not worth it. I was very upset, and so I was like, well, I got to try something else. I got to do something else. I can't just stay on Facebook and continuously try to keep pushing on Facebook when I'm not getting anything. So I was getting no results at all. Well, in July, I decided to do online only because my husband and I didn't have a car. And so it was very difficult for me to get to meetings and to presentations and things of that sort. It was very difficult for me to get out and meet people. So I said, well, the only avenue that I have in order to do this business is to do it online. And I said, well, what a fabulous tool. I have the world at my fingertips right here in my living room. Well, yeah, that was good initially. I looked through systems, I looked through platforms, and every single one of them cost money that I just didn't have. There was no way for me to come up with the kind of money that I needed for some of these things. And so I basically just dug in. I educated myself absolutely for free, and then turned around and had everything that I'd learned validated by other industry professionals. Now, I'm not talking about just Joe Schmo around the corner. I'm talking about people like Ray Higdon, Diane Hockman, Michelle and Bill Pescosolito. I hope I said that correctly. But I noticed that a lot of the things that I was studying, they were telling me too. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I studied the right thing here. There's got to be something to this. And I can teach you how to educate yourself for free if that's really what you want to do, but that's like a whole nother, that's a whole nother presentation. If you want to do that, then get with me after this one, and we'll see what we can do to get you started. And then after I kept struggling for a while, and I knew I had to have some kind of system for my online business. And I knew the pieces and the parts and I knew I needed a sales funnel, and I knew I needed a blog, and I knew, I needed some kind of an autoresponder and all this stuff, but I could not get the pieces to fully work together. And all the technical stuff, oh my gosh, it was driving me crazy. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was spending half my time trying to figure it out. And then I found a community and a mentor, and they embrace progress. And it doesn't matter what level of business you're in, they do provide support for you. You can stick a question in there, and someone, a 6 or 7 figure earner sometimes, will turn around and answer the question for you. So I found my home. And once you find your home, your growth is unstoppable. It is absolutely unstoppable. Okay, so there's a little bit about me. All right. Let's keep going. Now we have the differences between offline and online marketing. Okay. The differences seem simple, but here is a flat out comparison between the two. Okay. When you're offline marketing, it is face-to-face. When you're online marketing, it's face-to-screen. I know that sounds, kind of silly, but it's true. Your trust that you can build offline, face-to-face, is immediate. It is immediate. You talk to somebody, they talk to you, and you can see in their face whether or not they're really trying to scam you. You can hear the inflection of their voice. There's a lot of things that you can tell in a face-to-face meeting than you can on a face-to-screen meeting. In face-to-screen, you're just seeing a bunch of words and pictures and stuff on the screen. And how do you know that that's real? You don't know what they're saying, really. On offline, your physical presence is absolutely required. You cannot do anything without physically being there. Online, your physical presence is optional. How many of you guys really like that word optional? Type it in the chat. Do you like the word optional? Do you really want to be required to be present to continuously build your business? Or would you like to, let's see, what was the old phrase? Set it and forget it. Isn't that the way there was a cooking show? They were talking about you could put a roast in this tool, and you could just set the timer and just forget it. You didn't have to worry about it. Yeah, schedule posts on Facebook. That's right, Karen. It gives it so much more flexibility, and it's so much better because then you can actually spend time with your kids if you want to. You can finally watch that romance movie or whatever you want. Another difference is being offline, you leverage things like meetings and business cards and you pick up the phone and you call situation. Online, you leverage tools and systems. And there's several of them, and they all are different. And some require more technical knowledge than others, but they all work for the greater good. If you're offline, things only work when you do. You stop working and that's it. You stop calling, that's it. You start handing out business cards, that's it. When you work online, it works for you while you sleep 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Literally, set it and forget it. You don't have to be physically there. You can be out, riding around on a boat in the middle of the lake, and you can still be making sales online. Because you don't have to physically be there. You do the work, you put it out there, and it's there. Now, offline, you are looking more for in-home parties and word-of-mouth situations, demonstrations, the hotel meetings. I know a lot of people dread the hotel meetings, and there's a lot of people who are in the direct sales or network marketing industries who complain about those meetings. They don't want to go to those. That's like 2 hours at least, at a minimum, drive time in, hour in the meeting, drive time out. And they don't want to waste that 2 hours when they could take 45 minutes to an hour, watch a video. Or if it's a stay-at-home mom, she can start to watch a video, pause it, go take care of the baby, come back, unpause it, or watch while she's doing the dishes. That's where you're going to get your most impact. With online, you've got webinars, you got videos, you got blogs, you got social media. You have so many more avenues in order to make things happen. When you're offline, you have to be dressed to the nines because you want to give a professional appearance to the other person, right? Because your first impression is everything. And when you are online, you can be in your PJs. I'm going to tell you right now, I have a nice dress shirt on, but my pants are my PJ comfy pants. I'm just being honest with you guys. And that's part of the glory of being able to work at home. When you're offline, you have restricted hours. You can only work your business when you're awake. You can't do anything while you're asleep. You can't do anything when you're occupied with other things. When you're out having fun with the kids at the park, you can't be working on your business like physically. I mean, you can talk to other moms and things of that sort, but you don't have something running in the background. With online, it's anytime, any day. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you work a weird schedule or what have you, it's still there. If you're up in the middle of the night when everybody else is asleep, you can still put content and, connect with people during that time. A few other benefits about being online is that you actually have longevity of content. And what I mean by that, and you got to thank Kay for these last three, because I didn't think about these. He's a very smart man. I told you, Kay's very smart. And he helped me realize some of this stuff. But just a few other benefits. The longevity of content. Once you write something and you post it out there, it's out there. It never goes anywhere. Nobody can take it away. I mean, there's one instance where somebody could take it away, but that's a whole different situation. But what you put out there, it's out there. People will see it for, in 6 months, in 6 years, in 66 years, as long as nobody takes it down. It's there working for you constantly. Another benefit is the distance of connection. Physically, you can only go so far. You only have, you have your local area. And then if you want to travel to a different city, you can travel to a different city. Like, if you want to go to Atlanta, or if you want to grow a team in Florida, you can do that. Being online, you can actually grow a team all the way on the other side of the world. Isn't that the coolest thing? You don't have to physically fly to Japan to build your team. You can do everything right there in the comfort of your own home in your pajama pants if you want to. The volume of people. Now, this is a huge one. This is a huge one. When you're in an offline situation, you typically can only reach a certain number of people a day. So depending on how many people you see, right? In a 24-hour period, let's say. So you have 12 hours, you're awake, you're at work half that time. Let's say you actually qualify 4 people. But you got to talk to a lot of people to get a good qualified person to make that happen. Okay, so your volume of people, actually, you can have 1,000 people looking at your website all at the same time, and you don't even have to be there. So online is a great way to go when you want to build your business. Now, here are some of the most common mistakes. Now, this is the fun part. I think it's the fun part. Everybody, if I offend somebody, I'm sorry. If you do this, just kind of take a hint that you're not supposed to do these things. So if you're doing it, stop. You will feel much better. I promise. And the first thing is post and run. If you go into a room, a group, a community, anything, and you go in there and you throw your product post up, you put some type in there, some kind of sales copy or something, and then you take off. You don't connect with your customers at all. That is a no-no. Who's going to buy from a complete stranger who walks into a store and says, hey, I have this for sale, holds up a flyer with a picture on it, and then takes off running? Kind of makes you think, why do it? It's a waste of time and energy. Everyone is my customer. This is one of the biggest mistakes and the biggest lies of the industry. And it is just too general of a statement to address the specific needs that your customer wants, or the specific needs that your customer has, the wants or their desires. But everyone is not your customer. I remember when I first got started in my primary business, and I was like, okay, this product literally can be for everyone. Everyone. But in order for me to make a sale, it had to be targeted to one person who is really looking for what I have. And that makes a big difference. And you'll see when we start getting into more the targeted market area, you'll see what I'm talking about. I want to get rich quick. Come on. There's nothing in this world that can do that unless you hit the lottery or you gamble and strike it rich somehow, or you strike oil. Any business at all, whether you are online, offline, doesn't matter, is worth having. It will take time to build it. Don't get I know a lot of people have ants in your pants. Okay, keep the ants out of the pants. Because it's going to take time. It's a process. It is a process. It is a step-by-step learning, implementing, growing process. Do you really think that the 6- and 7-figure earners that are out there today, really, do you think they just stepped into the 6- or 7-figure role? No, of course not. Of course not. If they did, I would be amazed. I would just simply be amazed. But they had to start somewhere too. They had to start learning the process, and they had to start implementing the things in the process to start getting the results. So you have to stick with the process. Don't worry about the results for now. The results will come, promise you. I know this sounds gross, but puke your opportunity. And what I mean by that is posting anywhere and everywhere you possibly can. That even means hijacking other people's posts, which is a big, big no-no. And if you don't know what hijacking other people's posts means, it means if someone posts something and then you go in there and you go in the comments, you make a little comment, and then you post a link. That's hijacking someone else's post. Very unprofessional, very uncalled for. But I know your first thought when you're getting business and you're like, okay, I got this great opportunity. I'm so excited. I want to tell everybody about it. And you just start posting everywhere. Everywhere. You know what that is? Spam. And what does 90% of people don't like? Spam. So just slow down with the posting anywhere and everywhere. You want to find your target market first. Now here's another common mistake, and I see this constantly, all the time. Help me win this contest. I'm like 2 people away on my team from winning this promotion. I look at those and I say, why do I care? What's in it for me? As a customer, as a prospect, you have to think about what's in it for them. Not just what's in it for you. You have to change your focus from me to them. And we're going to go over that a little bit here in just a minute. Now, I got to thank Kay for this lovely graphic we have over here. He posted this up in our community today and or yesterday, I think. And I absolutely love it. And part of your success will boil down to your mindset. Are you still, oh, somebody has to tell me what I need to do? I have to work in a job kind of atmosphere. I work so many hours and I get paid so many dollars. When it comes to owning your own business, and whether you build it offline, online, doesn't matter. Your mindset will make you or it will break you. And then the reason why I tell you that is because I had a huge struggle with my mindset for the first year. And I will tell you something, and you're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, what? For the first 2 years, I was in business, right? Almost 2 years, I was in business. I signed 0 team members, and I signed 0 customers. I had one person that bought something, but it wasn't even enough to hit my commission amount. So I didn't even get to see the fruit of that labor. So I made nothing. Absolutely nothing. You want to talk about a hard time with your mindset? How negative? How difficult it was to even want to keep going, to even want to look at it, to think about it? Oh my goodness. It was harsh. It was super duper harsh. That's because I had the poor mentality. I always thought I was missing something. I always thought that my money would grow if I kept a hold of it. Now, completely different story. I'm in a rich mentality. I live in the future. I look forward to what's coming for me. And I'm always looking for growth opportunities. And there's a big difference. Now, one way that you can do this for yourself is to surround yourself with positive, uplifting people. Kay is a wonderful guy. He is positive, he's uplifting, he's supportive. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth having around. Read personal development books. And for some reason, the only name that would come to my mind when I set these up was Tony Robbins. There are several more. As a matter of fact, there was a string in one of the groups that I was talking to, and in that particular string, there was somebody who had asked a question about what books to read, and there were just, I don't know, there was comment after comment after comment. There are so many personal development books that will help you with your mindset. That will help you understand that there is a difference. And you need to recognize that because it'll help you grow. One thing that I do is I listen to daily motivational calls. And I have found by doing that, it gives me a different perspective on my business. It gives me a different perspective on me, in my heart, and in my soul. I listened to one today. His name is Stephen Krivda. And if you don't know who he is, Google him. It's Stephen, Steven, Krivda, Kriv, as in Victor, DA. I'll put him in the chat box for you. But he is one powerful man. He really is. He's got so much passion about setting up your vision for what you want to do. And it's just incredible. This man, he gets me fired up. I mean, he had a hard time controlling himself today, but he gets me fired up. One thing you want to do is set your vision. Make your vision. Sit down. And if you want to listen to that motivational call, I'll tell you how to get to it. Just send me a message and I'll explain to you how to get to the motivation calls that you can listen to Monday through Friday. But it's so worth it because he helps you think about your vision. And you can set your vision with a vision board easily. Now, I have been collecting scraps of phrases and pictures and things like that from old magazines. And I've cut them out, and I've gotten the free magazines at the grocery store at Kroger, the Parent magazine, and I think there was a couple of Realty magazines and stuff. And I'll flip through them, and I'm just looking for phrases or pictures that touch me, that motivate me. Sometimes I'll get a house magazine, and I'll go through and I'll pick out different features that I want in my house. This is what I want my house to look like. Put your vision somehow into a physical state where you can look at it. This will help you as you're going through your business. It'll help keep you positive and uplifted. Meditate daily. Now you can do like a meditation such as you sit down and you actually meditate. For those of you who are believers, if you believe in God, then prayer with God, reading Bible verses, things of that sort. Meditate. Your body will respond to these things, and it will help you with a more positive and clear mindset. Just like exercise and eating right. I mean, you got to keep your body in top condition, or at least in good condition. But it will help you with your mindset. And when you exercise, it releases endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. So why wouldn't you want to exercise to try to change your mindset into a more positive state? This is a quote that I just came up with. The past is something you cannot change, but you can use it to fuel the change for your future. The past is something you cannot change. Nobody can change it. You can't undo what you've already done. But you can use that experience. You can use those feelings. You can use that lesson that you learned to change things and make a difference for your future. So think about this. A lot of you are still in the poor mentality state. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm not saying that is a bad thing at all. It is a humans are ones that just think negatively in general. It takes effort to think positively. And through practice, you can do that actually. You can start to think positively, and you would be surprised of the things that come out, the things that happen. They're amazing. Okay, now that we've gone through kind of the mindset stuff, let's go through the target market. And I know some of you guys, you know what it is, and you're good, and you're golden, you want to stretch back, and that's fine. For those of you who don't know, target market, well, the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to define it for you. Not everybody understands what a target market is, okay? But it is a particular group of consumers at which a product or service is aimed. So, for example, let's say you have a group of fishermen, right? And they're all going out on a fisherman trip. And one of the guys says, my wife, she sells these bags, and she wants to come over here and she wants to talk to us. And of course, all the guys are going to grumble because they're not interested in that, right? They're like, oh, really? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. Unless she has like a bag that's specific for fishing, and that's different. But overall, she's trying to sell to the wrong people. So she would be better off selling to a mom or a book club, for the ladies so they can bring home their books from the library in a bag. Think about who it is that your product or service is for. Now, how do we come up with our target market? This is actually very easy to do. All you have to do is think about the different people who need, want, or use your product. So here's some homework. I'm going to give you guys some homework this week. Your homework is to sit down and think about whatever product or service that you offer. Why don't you sit down with a piece of paper and think, who would be somebody who would use this? Is it a guy? Is it a girl? You need to get an idea of your perfect customer or recruit, so teammate, and you need to get too detailed. I mean, get specific about this person. Ask yourself these questions. How old are they? Are they male or female? Who is your specific perfect customer? Do they live in the US or Canada? Do they live in Guam? Do they live in Japan? Do they have children? What are they interested in? Do they like music, art, movies? Are they even interested in your product? You gotta define it, specifically define this person. Where do they exist online? That is like one of the biggest questions ever. I know I had that question, and sometimes I still do, because I think that they're hiding in the groups that, I try to go in the groups and then they scatter like cockroaches. Sometimes that's the way I feel. I know that's not the case, but you need to find out who these people are, pinpoint it, get very, very specific. Find a photo of your perfect customer. It'll help provide a visual stimulus. And not only that, if you take that photo and you post it up somewhere, while you are writing your copy for your ads, while you're writing your content for your posts or for your blog or anything of that sort, you can look at that person and you can write it like you're talking specifically to that person. That's the way you want it to come out. You want them to feel like, hey, they're talking about me. In order to do that, you've got to pinpoint who your customer is. Without that, when you talk to everybody, nobody's going to listen. You have to find that person that needs to listen. Beside that photo of your perfect customer, list the key qualities of that person. Well, visually, you can see that they're female, and if they have, blonde hair or whatever. But the key qualities is like the interest that they have, or where are they online, or have they bought something online before? There's several different qualities that you can put on there. Whichever ones for your product or service that you feel are the most important aspects, the most important key qualities. Now, where do you find them? Well, they're all over the place. You can find them in social media. Usually they're not just hanging out by themselves. 90% of them are in a group. So you figure out, you have your product and your service, you figure out who your perfect customer is, and go to a group or a discussion forum where they might be. So for those of you that came from one of the groups that I was talking to, that's why I was in there. You are in my target market. I am looking for people to help grow their business online, and you just happen to be the perfect fit. That's why you're here tonight. I didn't go into a cooking club looking for someone who is wanting to build their business online. They're looking for cooking tips. They're not looking on how to build online. So it would be pointless. It'd be a waste of my time, excuse me, and a waste of my effort and my resources. So you fish in the pond where the fish are, where the right kind of fish are. Now you can also find these people at local events like football games and gymnastics, practice and things of that sort. Especially, if you're a mom and you know that your target market is other moms. Maybe you have maybe you're Usborne Books, or there's another company that does toys for kids. In that case, yeah, you could talk to them offline and that kind of thing, and that would work too. But you have to know who your customer is, so you know who you need to talk to. Without that, marketing can be it is very difficult and very stressful. Now, here's a part that I know you guys are asking. Some of you know about attraction marketing. Some of you don't know about attraction marketing. Some of you don't care about attraction marketing. You should care. Attraction marketing is where it is at. That's improper English too, because I ended the sentence with the word at. I'm very particular about speaking and writing, if you haven't been able to tell from my posts and things. But it is where it is at. ATT, short for attraction. There you go. So let's talk about it for a little bit. What is it? All right, attraction marketing is and this is my definition. This is not a definition that has been Googled or taken off anywhere else. This specific definition is for me. I made this. And I don't know that it's 100%, but 100% accurate, professional, but this is how I feel. Attraction marketing is the process of providing value to your target market that will build a relationship of trust where they will come to you for your information, products, or services. Sounds kind of simple, right? Providing value. Yeah, okay, so you want me to provide value. Well, how do I provide value? That comes the next question, right? It's easy. Think about your business. What are you involved with? Let's say you're involved with makeup. Okay. You can give value by giving tutorials, tips and tricks on how to make your eyes, sparkle and how to make them look more round, or you can do different things, and you can do it through video, you can do it through blog posts, you can do it, however, but you give them information, not just a product sale. You give them information on how to use that product. You educate them first. If they buy, great. If they don't, great. Your product's not for them. That's why I say you have to let go of the results. Marry the process, let go of the results. Let's say for essential oils, what would you do? Talk about the healing elements that are inside the oils. How do you use them? How to store them? How to clean the container after you use them? There's lots of different things that you can give back in value about the benefits that that product or service would provide for the customer without the pitch. There's the 3 keywords right there. Without the pitch. Give them straight value. So let's say you're a real estater, right? And what better thing as a real estate person would you want to do than give some great buying tips to those who are looking for a house? Well, yeah, why not? The do's and don'ts of selling, that's for other real estate, for other realtors. Now, where do I provide value? Here you go. You got all this valuable stuff. You got all this content. It's great. It's wonderful. Now, where do I put it? Where can this person see it? Well, when you're offline, you can do free seminars. You can go to network groups. Sometimes they allow different business people to do presentations and things of that sort in their network groups. The free seminars, my husband and I went to one not too long ago about buying a house. It was an absolutely free class in a hotel room, not a hotel room, in a, almost caught myself there, in one of those hotel banquet rooms. And they had the table set up and everything, and the guy went out there and he gave a little presentation about where to find funding for the houses and the different things that you want to look for, and it was very, very informative. Will I use his services in the future? Probably. Why? Because he knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about. To me, that establishes an authority in my brain that tells me he knows what he's talking about. I need to stick with this guy because knowledge is very powerful. Very powerful. Where else can you provide value? How about online? Online, you have a blog. You can provide it through social media or webinars, such as this one. Now, I know a lot of you have asked questions about blogging and things of that sort, and that's perfectly okay. We're going to get into that a little bit later on down the road. But you can provide the value on all of these things, and people will come and check it out. You would be surprised. It's amazing. Now, I do want to tell you guys, I want to have some time for some Q&A. But I do want to tell you for next week, like I said, we're going to start off, we're going to do step by step. So this is a very general overview of marketing online and the differences between offline and online marketing, and maybe where you can change a few things over the course of the next week that'll give you a little bit better results than what you were doing. So if you were doing some of the bad things, stop doing them. Just stop doing them. If you want to know how to provide more value to somebody, always ask. It's not that difficult to learn how to give somebody value. So take some of this information that I've shared with you tonight and think about how you can apply it in your business. Now, I'll tell you, that's one thing that makes the difference between a successful person and someone who's not successful. A successful person will gain knowledge, take that knowledge, put it to use, implement it into something that's going to give them results. They take action with the knowledge. Without action, knowledge is useless. It's powerful, but it's useless without the action behind it. So now you have some things that you can kind of look at in a different way and take action on it and see what kind of results you get over the course of the next week. So for next week, be prepared. It'll be next Thursday night again at 7 o'clock. For next week, we're going to do branding. I know I said at first that I was going to do Instagram, but I really feel like we need to lay a foundation first before we get into specific technical stuff. Because if you don't know the basic stuff first, the technical stuff is not going to matter. You can know the technical stuff and keep putting the same bad stuff out there and the same wrong stuff out there, and you're still never going to get any results. Ever. I mean, you might get a sale here or two. Somebody might throw you a bone. But you're not going to be building that business that you so long for. So when we cover branding next week, we're going to be talking about what it is. What is it? Branding. You talk about branding. What do you mean? Why do I need to do that? What is the point? I am who I am and I do what I do. Yeah, you are. And that is the point. You brand yourself. The company that you are associated with is already branded. They are already branded, but you need to brand yourself. You need to set yourself up as the leader, as the go-to person that everybody wants to come to get answers to their questions, because you seem to know it all. Now, how do I do it? How in the world do I do this? Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, the background on the slideshow tonight is also the same background that is on all of my social media. It's also the same background and color scheme I have on my emails. It's the same color scheme and everything I have on my blog. It all matches, and all of that is part of branding. You create yourself and you create a brand that affects other people's lives in a positive way, definitely not in a negative way. So, with that being said, guys, I come back over here to see you. Hello. So, what I want to do is I want to see if you guys have any questions for me, either based on what we went over tonight, or if you saw something that I may have commented on before in a group, or anything of that sort. Let me know. Throw some questions out there if you have any for me. I'm going to turn on the Q&A for you. If you're not comfortable talking in the chat. I like the polls. So you guys are still relatively new. I know it's hard when you're new to really start digging in and start getting results. I know. Is it okay to take this info and share it with my team? Karen, I would have to hunt you down if you didn't. This is the way that they will understand how to make things work online. And even the industry all across the board. This is how they do it. This is how they make 6 and 7 figures online. Is they embrace all of this. So yes, please share it with your team. The less people we have spamming and throwing up random Facebook posts about their product and service, the better off we all are. I'm sure we can all agree to that. But yes, absolutely. Please take it back to your team. If you want them to watch the video, that's fine with me too. Once we're done and it loads and everything, I'm going to send out an email to everybody that has the link to the video. So if you want to forward that to them or copy the link and send it to them, you can do that as well. All right, Pamela, on Facebook, should you create a group or a business page? That depends on what you're trying to do. So for example, I set up a page. And the reason why is because if I set up a group, it has to be a public group in order for anybody to find it. If you have a page set up, then when people are looking in the search box, then they can actually find your page and find all the information. In my personal opinion, groups are more for like individual closer knit group, closer knit people. Or if you want to have a secret group, you can. For like your team members, you have a group for your team members. You have, I don't have a group for any of the Thursday night training. I had thought about starting my own group, but I haven't done that yet myself. So part of it is, I will tell you, don't market on your personal page, on your personal profile. I know I've done that, and I'm getting ready to I have a post that I'm going to make tomorrow that's going to wipe all that off. Everybody's going to go to my fan page, just because I'm starting to get some complaints from my individual profile. So, and not only that, but it's also against Facebook terms and conditions. You have to actually, if you're running a business, you're not supposed to run it from your profile page. You're supposed to set up a fan page. So, all right. Does anybody else have any questions about the general stuff for this week? I'm glad you guys were all able to come out tonight and hang out with me, and I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, and I really appreciate it. And whenever you have a question, just send me a message on Facebook. Seriously. Yeah, Karen, you're right. Facebook jail is a real thing. It is a real thing, and it's It's at first it's like, what? They just did what? Because you can't do anything. You're stuck, completely stuck. I do have a training for things that'll help you stay out of Facebook jail. If any of you want it, just let me know, and I'll be happy to send you the link through Facebook Messenger or what have you. But yeah, it is a real thing. Is a fan page different than a business page? I just use a fan page, and I set it up as a public figure. And see, here's the thing, and this we'll cover more about this next week as far as the branding is concerned. Like I said, your company has already branded themselves. You need to brand yourself. Because when people are digging through and let's do an example. Let's say they type in, they want to find somebody from Unique. Okay. They type in Unique and they get thousands of people who say that they are unique, right? What is going to separate you from all the other representatives? You're still talking about Unique. You're still talking about Avon. You're still talking about essential oils. What makes you different? So you'll notice that my primary business is not even on anything. I don't share my primary business anymore. I did for a long time. And I could never, for the life of me, figure out how in the world can I not share my business and yet still get paid for it and still make money with it. If nobody knows about it, then how are they going to buy anything? I had the hardest time with that. Some days I still struggle with it, but once you start embracing the attraction marketing methods, then you will understand a little bit more as time goes on that people will ask you, so what are you doing? What are you in business for? What company are you with? And then at that point, the conversation's just natural. You're not trying to shove anything on them. You're not trying to push your product. You're not getting frustrated because everybody keeps telling you no. And so, when it comes to your pages, regardless if it's a business page or a fan page, like I said, I chose a fan page. The best thing is just to make sure that you're not putting still the company information out there. Make sure that you put out information out there about your experience with the product, your tips and tricks that you've got that are going to be different from other people's. Yeah, Shelly, sharing from your fan page is a good idea. If you have something, let's say, for example, if you share something on your fan page, and then you want your real friends to see it on your personal profile, it's okay to share it on there. I mean, you just don't want to use your personal profile to constantly talk about your product and your service, or those are your friends. Why would you want to, keep beating a dead horse, first of all? Second of all, let me get something right quick. I want to show you something. Let's say this piece of paper right here. Okay. Let's say this piece of paper right here is your opportunity. Right now, if you're posting it everywhere, you're going, hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. To everybody in their face. Nobody wants stuff shoved in their face. They don't. So stop shoving it in their face. Start giving them value, telling them, what is this product going to do for them? Give them some value. You guys have any more questions for me? Because if you don't, I know it's just a few minutes past the top of the hour, and I know a lot of you have kiddos to get in bed. Mine are ready to go to bed. They go to bed kind of early. But I do want to thank every single one of you for being on here tonight, and I really appreciate your support and coming to learn and share it with your team. And if you have friends that are interested in building online, or maybe they've been struggling too, or anything of that sort, like I said, this is not a way for me to get you. If you buy from me, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't care. This is training. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what's in my heart to do, and that's to give back and to keep helping others. That's what it's always been since day number one, is I just wanted to help other people. And this is a way that I can do that. So every Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central, we're going to be doing this. And since you have come in here and spent some time with me, I'm very, very grateful for you being here. And so I hope each of you have a wonderful and a blessed night. And I look forward to talking to you more over the course of the next week until next Thursday. And so in the meantime, come on over. I'll put a link out there to my, tomorrow I'm going to put a post on my personal profile, which I know most of you already are friends with me. So you'll get the link to my fan page. So you can go there, and I post a lot of different things on there. There's, as a matter of fact, right now there's a Snapchat training that we did. It's phenomenal, just phenomenal. And let's see, I put on there about the Thursday night trainings. I'll post some inspirational kind of things and some things for you to think about. And so I'll put that on my profile page tomorrow. And that way you know where to go for my fan page. So that way you can, if you got value, you can actually have other people come to the fan page, and they'll be able to see where the Thursday night training is. And they're welcome to come and join as well. And I plan on doing this unless I am physically incapacitated somehow. I plan on doing these trainings every single Thursday night. So come on back next week. We're going to be talking about branding. Bring your notebooks, bring your smiles, and I look forward to talking to you guys throughout the week, okay? Night. Have a blessed night. Thank you. Bye-bye.